Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is David Hyman, your tour guide in Israel. Today the tour is in Jerusalem, Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount, the Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa Mosque. I'd like to encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to visit Jerusalem's most famous landmark, the Temple Mount. Most groups avoid visiting the Temple Mount because during normal times the lines are just too long and the visiting hours are short. The ramp leading up to the Mughrabi Gate has a vantage point looking over the Western Wall. So make sure you take some pictures and enjoy this angle of the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall. Just please be aware that you cannot visit inside the shrine, the Dome of the Rock, and the Al-Aqsa Mosque unless you're from the Muslim faith. However, you're most welcome to walk around, explore as much as you want. As long as you follow some basic rules, you need to be completely covered, wear modest attire, no shorts, and just be respectful of the place. Also, make sure you don't bring your Bibles with you in your bags or any religious items. There are ushers who will approach you and tell you off if you're doing something not acceptable. This is a story of a rock, maybe the most famous rock in the world. The rock that is covered by that golden dome, the Dome of the Rock. We can't see the rock, but we can see a similar one because this rock here is part of the Mount Moriah bedrock of the city of Jerusalem. Just regular limestone. The earliest tradition or biblical event that happens on this mountain would be the binding of Isaac. Abraham is ordered to go to the land of Moriah, Eretz HaMoriah, to a mountain that God will show him, and on that mountain sacrifice his son as proof of his faith to the eternal God. So the first temple is built on this location at the year 1000 BC by King Solomon, David's son. He builds the structure on top of the ancient rock. Maybe is this the exact threshing floor that King David purchased from the Jebusites? Possibly, because this is part of the original rock. King Solomon's temple, the first temple, stands on this location for about 500 years, more or less, and was destroyed by the Babylonian invasion in the year 586 BC. Nothing I can show you from the first temple is still around, except the location, because the rock doesn't move. The second temple was built by the returnees of the exile from Babylon, but they built a very modest and a small building. Herod the Great, in the 20s and the 30s of the first century BC, his plan is to build the largest temple in the world, and he wants to build it here on the rock where the first temple was standing, where Abraham sacrificed Isaac. But to do that, he needs to take the mountaintop, the natural hill, and level it to create a large platform, large enough for him to build the second temple. And Herod's temple stands at this location for about 100 years. Herod's temple would be the temple that Jesus of Nazareth saw when he came to Jerusalem. He would have arrived from there, from the Mount of Olives. The Mount of Olives, you can see the path, the pilgrim's path, the Palm Sunday path, and they climbed down from Mount of Olives, crossed the Kidron Valley, and entered up to the temple. The Roman army under Titus Vespasian conquered Jerusalem, destroyed the Second Temple. For the next 700 years, the temple platform is completely deserted, neglected, and more than that, it actually becomes the garbage field of the city of Jerusalem. Jerusalem falls to the Muslim army at the year 638 AD. The Caliph himself, Omar ibn al-Khattab, asks to be taken to the place of the temple. His Jewish advisor shows him the location. They remove the trash and find the ancient rock. So what exactly happens here that makes this sacred for the Muslim faith? Because we know that Mecca comes first. We know that Medina, Muhammad's hometown and where he's buried, is second. And Jerusalem is third in the hierarchy of holy sites for Islam. At the age of 40, Muhammad has a miraculous journey, the night journey of Muhammad. He rides his winged horse, the Burak, all the way to the mosque at the edge of the world. And here he prays with his ancestors. And from there he leaps up to the sky and meets God. When God meets Muhammad, he dictates to him the 5 prayers that the Muslim faith will pray a day, and he comes back. This is the night voyage of Muhammad. So 1300 years ago, in the late 7th century, exact date 691, the Caliph, the successor of the Prophet Muhammad, his name is Abd al-Malik, came to this mountain, Mount Moriah, and ordered to build the Dome of the Rock on the rock. This is the oldest Muslim architectural shrine in the world. This is 1,000 years older than the Taj Mahal. It has been renovated quite a few times, but basically it's the same structure, it's sitting on the same core. So this 1,300-year-old masterpiece is still standing the way it was built, probably because it was built in a very light manner with columns and a very light ceiling, mainly made out of wood. But the other reason would be that it sits right on the bedrock of Jerusalem. So it managed to stay stable even though there were many earthquakes in this region. The building cost 6 years' worth of tax revenue from Egypt. You can see that the building has an octagonal shape and a golden dome. It is decorated from in the inside and the outside with the most beautiful decorations. The inside is still the original decoration, but outside has been renovated many times. What we see now in the exterior is tile work, glazed tiles from the 16th century, sponsored by the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. The exterior today is this tile work, glazed tiles that were all brought from Turkey, probably from Iznik. And this small dome outside the main dome, you can get up close and take a closer look at the wonderful design, how everything fits together beautifully. The internal decoration was made with mosaic work, small stones, either different color or glass with gold. There's only one part outside where you can see the original decoration, and it's right here, the arch above the eastern door. So the Dome of the Rock is one of the earliest samples of Islamic art in the world. This is 7th century, and we can see how careful the artists are with the way they decorate the building. They're not allowed to use images, human images or animals. If they use floral designs, they have to be kind of schematic and not natural. What they have perfected in their work is the harmony and the symmetry, a lot of color, and what they call arabesque designs, games with the geometry and using calligraphy as part of the decor. There's one exception about the place being a house of worship for Islam. This is in the Middle Ages. During the 12th century, for 100 years, Jerusalem became Christian under the Crusades, the Crusaders, and they transformed both shrines into churches. So the Dome of the Rock became Templum Domini, the Lord's Temple, and the Al-Aqsa Mosque became Templum Solomoni, Solomon's Temple. And one structure is still standing on the platform, which was built by the Crusaders, and it's visible today. The Al-Aqsa Mosque is a practical building. That's the praying room itself. The whole idea is that it's very large and empty, and inside just carpets, no decorations. The orientation of the mosque is south towards Mecca, and all the believers would arrive and pray in the mosque. There's room for 5,000 worshippers, and if you come late, you can pray outside. And the mosque was also built in the late 7th century, but it was destroyed, rebuilt a few times. The interior of the mosque is mainly a large praying space, while the exterior has an interesting story. The latest renovation was made by the Crusaders during the 12th century. Here you can compare the arched entrance to the one at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So I hope you all enjoyed our tour today in Jerusalem of the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So if you did, please give me a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel and write a comment. Let me know where you'd like to go in wonderful Israel. And until then, take care, shalom shalom, and see you on our next video.